have taken objective apples.
Have you ever been killed so quickly in a Battlefield game that you feel like you've gotten cheated? Well, today we're going to talk about the reason why that may be. Hello everyone, my name is Catalyst. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Today we are going to be talking about auto-rotation aim assist, what it is and why, in my personal opinion, I think it should be completely removed from the game and any Battlefield games to come in the near and distant future. If you end up enjoying this video, make sure you like it and share it around, and of course, drop a comment down below and tell me what you think about auto-rotation. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so when you spawn in, just meet me up by the statue, middle of B.
Auto-rotation's off.
I know. Oh, it's set off in the server, right? Oh, no, okay.
Yes.
RIP. Okay, we're gonna have to find it.
So guys, this is what auto-rotation's like.
Yeah.
RIP.
Wait,
Oh wait,
what?
why is it not working? Hold on, we're having technical difficulties.
So all jokes aside, our server automatically had auto-rotation disabled because it is set up for competitive play, and of course auto-rotation is disabled for competitive play, so we had to go and find a random server and hope that we didn't get killed testing everything, and fortunately we did get it on the first try. Big thanks to my buddy and teammate Legit for the help. But before we get into that, first I kind of want to explain what auto-rotation is, because it's actually quite surprising to me how many people actually don't know what auto-rotation is and or what it does. You know, I've gotten into heated arguments with people and I'll mention auto-rotation and they'll be like, well, what's that? And I find that extremely ironic and funny at the same time, because auto-rotation really is one of the core main game settings in the Battlefield franchise. Now, as you all know, aim assist is a tool in most first-person shooter games that aids controller users with their aim to kind of help bridge the gap between aiming with sticks and then aiming with a mouse as on PC. But whereas most other shooters such as Call of Duty only have one type of aim assist, Battlefield actually has two types of aim assist that stack together. So for a franchise that builds a foundation on being a less arcadey and hardcore shooter on the market, you'd be pretty surprised to find out that Battlefield actually has more aim assist than any other shooter on the market, and that is because of auto-rotation aim assist. By definition, in the settings menu, auto-rotation gives you the ability to snap to nearby enemy targets, but what it doesn't tell you is that it acts more of like a lock-on device, because the auto-rotation snap places the aim of the player directly at center mass of their opponent. So, reintroducing the question that I asked at the beginning of the video, have you ever felt like you've been killed so fast in a Battlefield game that it actually feels suspicious? This would be the answer why. Now, of course, there's a very real possibility that your opponent is actually quite good at the game. You know, because I've received quite a few letters of hate mail claiming that I've used auto-rotation and that's why I'm good. You know, people treat this almost like a hack of the game, and you'll see why when I demonstrate it here in a second. But if you end up getting melted by a level 3 or something like that, and your spidey sense starts going off and tingling and saying, well, this doesn't seem quite right, well, the answer is auto-rotation, and in my personal opinion, I think this extra layer of aim assist should never ever see the light of day again in any Battlefield title from here on out. Check this out. So, you'll see Legit standing directly in front of me, and I'm going to start walking side to side, and what you're going to see is my crosshair stick, or at the very least, tug towards my opponent's body, and this is the aim assist slowdown that you will find in most first-person shooters. It's very typical, you know, very standard, and you can see you can just see the pull of aim assist as the game is helping me keep track of my target. However, when I ADS, it is very clear that the aim assist slowdown does not help me when I'm just plain missing my target. In other words, the aim assist slowdown will help you in the general direction of where you are supposed to be aiming, but it will not help you aim apart from giving you a gentle pull or nudge. Kind of like a father helping his son ride a bike for the first time. You know, he's going to push the bike, but eventually he's going to have to let go, and the son is either going to keep riding the bike or he's going to faceplant and go to the hospital. It's that live or die situation that aim assist slowdown backs away from that keeps it very balanced. Now, watch what happens when I turn auto rotation on. Not only is there a slight aim assist tug from the slowdown, but when you aim in, boom, it snaps right to the center of the player, and of course legit wasn't moving when we recorded this, but it would be ridiculously hard to coordinate it over party chat anyway. But if he began moving, the auto rotation would continue to lock onto him for a short time as he moved. And for all you skeptics out there that are possibly, saying that there is no way that this is legit, there's no way that this is actually happening, well, you can see as I finally find the sweet spot here, which is just over the enemy's backpack to where it triggers, when I ADS, I snap to the same exact spot. Every single time, the exact spot. And if I was doing this manually, then I wouldn't be hitting the exact same spot every time. I mean, auto rotation is just absolutely broken when you look at this, and I mean really broken. It's a nice helpful tool for new players, sure, but most people don't know it exists and will not turn it off because it helps you aim that much. So offering up an example here, if you and another player run up on each other around a corner and you both startle one another, one person has auto rotation, the other person does not. Both players are startled and they panic and they try and shoot the other player. In this situation, the player with the best aim wins. So based on what I've shown you, 9 times out of 10, the player with auto rotation will win because he has the advantage over the other player that doesn't have auto rotation, because auto rotation is snapping to his targets when he is in that panic state. And moreover, it doesn't always apply to panic gunfights around a corner. It applies really to any gunfight. The fact that the player with the best aim may not win a 1v1 gunfight because of layered aim assist, quite frankly, is bullshit to me. The person with the best aim in that specific gunfight should win the fight 100% of the time. And when you combine this with the fact that weapons have random bullet spread on top of that, it even adds more random chance to your gunfights in a game that I feel would play better and be less frustrating if the better man won the fight most of the time. In addition to that, think of all the high rate of fire weapons that with high recoil that are in this game. The SMG-08, the Automatico, the Annihilator, the Burton. Knowing what we know about auto rotation, people that use these weapons with auto rotation are damn near unstoppable sometimes, unless your aim is perfect, A, or B, your positioning is better. The even more astounding thing is that auto rotation doesn't just apply to automatic weapons, as you could have seen in the opening clip. It applies to sniper rifles as well, particularly infantry rifles. I don't believe that there's auto rotation on scoped rifles, but by far and large, infantry rifles are the easiest sniper rifles to use anyway in the entire game, so the auto rotation really just makes it that much more overpowered. I know there's a big fuss in the Call of Duty franchise about quick scoping. Well, the same outrage should be placed here for infantry rifles that can snap to people's chest without any effort at all, and more often than not can result in headshots if the player gets used to the auto rotation enough and is practiced enough. Auto rotation is something that can easily go under the radar because there are so many other things to worry about in a Battlefield game, especially in-game mechanics, but when you actually take the time to know what auto rotation aim assist is and what it does, it really is quite broken, and I'm not sure why it's in any Battlefield title, because something that is this broken and holds bad players' hands this tightly should not be in the game. So that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching it. If you did enjoy it, make sure that you do drop a like on it and then drop a comment down in the comment section telling me what you enjoyed about it, and if you disliked the video, feel free to do the same. Now, I hope this raised some sort of awareness for what auto rotation aim assist is and why it can be considered so broken and so overpowered at times. So if you could also be so kind as to share the video to help get the word out, and if you enjoyed the video enough, why not subscribe? It's completely free, and I would more than certainly appreciate the support. Now, if you also could turn on post notifications to never miss any of my content up to Battlefield 5. I know that I released the Gamescom trailer live reaction earlier today. There's going to be a whole bunch more content coming as Battlefield 5 gets closer and closer, especially with the beta coming along the way, hopefully within the next month or so. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching once more. My name is Liquor Catalyst, and I will see you all another time.